How's it going, guys? Welcome to the FM Dugout and episode 2 of Rescue Rangers, where we are about to take on Queen of the South in the Scottish Cup 4th round at Ibrox in my first game in charge. So it's only been 12 days since the last episode was recorded, and not a lot's happened, to be honest. The league table has now evened out a bit. Everyone has played their games in hand. Celtic are now sitting on 49 points after dropping points against Hearts and St Johnstone. They lost 4-3 to Hearts, and a 3-3 draw against St Johnstone means that they've only taken 1 point out of their 2 games in hand. So I suppose from our point of view that might be good, but I think in the big picture it's probably very insignificant given the fact both of those teams are so far ahead. It's hard to see how we're going to claw back that kind of gap anyway. One thing to call out, Rangers' results in the last 3 games here have matched identically the results in real life, following their 2-1 defeat against Celtic on New Year's Eve. And I wonder if that means Mark Warburton will get sacked in real life. Probably not. Rangers are sitting on 25 points here, whereas in real life they're sitting on 39, which is obviously still not ideal, but far more acceptable than 25 points, which is why Warburton has been given the sack in this game. So in terms of signings, I haven't actually made any permanent signings in this window. I've made a number of signings for the summer window. So we've got Liam Cooper coming in on a free transfer from Leeds. Left-footed centre-back who can also play left-back if required, similar to Danny Wilson in that respect. Pretty decent stats, to be honest. He seems to be pretty good in the air, good concentration and other mentals as well. Positioning's fairly decent. All in all, for a 25-year-old to get him for a free transfer, that's pretty good, to be honest. We then got Vincent Sasso from Sheffield Wednesday, who, similar to Cooper, can play centre-back and he's got right-back as well. So getting a little bit of versatility in that back line. Obviously, Clint Hill, Senderos are both out of contract and I'm letting them both go. Rob Kiernan is out of contract, but I'm going to see how he does in this particular formation and the way the team is going to set itself out. It could well be that he's a squad player going into next season. And the one thing to call out, we're not in Europe at the moment. Based on our league position, we're not going to be in Europe. So there's not going to be any money coming in from there, and it's going to be more difficult to attract players. So really what we're going to have to do is work with players at the kind of same level we're at the moment. We're not going to get any players significantly better than what we have at present. So it's kind of looking for players who've maybe got the potential to develop, or just bolster the squad with people that are more consistent in terms of their performance. But I've gone for Vincent Sasso here because I think, again, similar to Cooper, pretty decent in terms of his physicals, his mentals, and the kind of key 3 areas of the technical requirements for a central defender. So pretty pleased with that. Again, determination 16, we've got a determined squad, so Sasso fits in with that mould. We've then got Louis Thompson, who is at Norwich at the moment. Again, a little bit of versatility, someone who can play as a central midfielder, defensive midfielder, centre-back and also right-back as well. So again, someone who, if they're there in the team, we have the ability to kind of cover multiple positions. And again, very much the same as the other 2 signings. Louis Thompson really has got everything I'm looking for in that combative midfield kind of position. So work rate 18, determination 15, bravery somewhere between 16 and 18, aggression 16, and he's got the physicals to kind of back that up as well, and his technical ability, tackling 13, which is pretty good, passing 13 as well. So I'm really quite happy with that. He's only 22 years old, so again, to get him in on a free transfer, I'm quite pleased with that. What it does mean though is that our committed spending has now taken us over our weekly wage budget, but given the fact Senderos is on 16k a week is going to be going, obviously that's going to balance things out when that comes about. The only other one we had was a signing that actually did come in, was Connor Roberts from Swansea. Now I brought him in, again, similar to with Hodgson, it's just to get someone for competition and cover. Unfortunately, he picked up an injury in his first training session, a bruised shin, so he's out of the game today. I would have liked to have seen how he could have fared against Queen of the South, but yeah, I mean, he looks like a really good player as well. Definitely got the physicals I'm looking for, and again, the right kind of attributes here. Determination 14, work rate 14, fits in quite well. And the only other thing is Michael O'Halloran and Liam Kelly have both gone out on loan. O'Halloran, I would have preferred to have sold him, given the fact he's worth about 500k, but kind of puts him in the shop window. Maybe he'll play well for Dundee. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. But certainly O'Halloran is not someone I'm expecting to be around the club for much longer, although he is contracted for another 3.5 years. Liam Kelly, bog standard loan deal out to a club in a lower division to give him game time, but I really don't see Kelly being able to challenge McCrory, who is actually on the bench for today's game against Queen of the South, as Matt Gilks has picked up a flu or something. I can't remember what it was. He got a virus, so he's out of today, and McCrory will get a place on the bench. So that's what's happened. We'll just get into today's game. You can see here the fixtures for the fourth round. Trying to look for ones to kind of call out that might help us out here. Not really any that you're expecting any kind of shocks. Aberdeen at home to St Mirren, you'd expect them to win. Are Hearts playing today? Yeah, they are home to Partick Thistle. So again, you'd expect Hearts to go through. And you'd expect us to go through as well, but I'm trying a slightly different formation from what Rangers usually play. So we'll see how it goes. Right, this is the team we are going with today. I think I showed it in the last episode anyway. We're going to see how it works with the three centre-backs, two wing-backs, attacking midfield and two strikers. On the bench, that's probably where we've got the most kind of creativity. I've opted for three players that can play across the three positions here, just behind the strikers. Just because if things don't go well, I would like to be able to change to a 4-2-3-1, narrow or wide, and certainly Forrester, Windass and Murphy will give me that ability, with Ryan Hardy as the backup striker. And then we've got Philip Billing, who will cover the centre of the park. Windass and Forrester can play there as well if required. Maybe a little bit short in the defensive side of things. We've got Mason Holgate only. But kind of looking at who's available and the fact we're playing wing backs, there's not really much else we can go with there. So yeah, it's kind of picked itself. Barry Mackay getting the nod today. I think Jason Holt is Josh Windass is actually there as 2.5 stars. Nobody really excelling in that position, so we'll give Barry a chance to kind of show what he can do today. And yeah, so let's get on with today's match. See how we get on with our first game. I'm not going to give Ryan Hardy number 14. He is not Ronald de Boer. Okay. I think today's match is going to be a good test for the formation. There should be an opportunity here for us to demonstrate if we're going to be good enough attacking wise. I mean, obviously it's against a smaller team, so there's maybe less risk. It's a good game to try it out. The next match is away to Motherwell in the league, which is quite a tough game, so I'd like to know if this is going to work. Here we go, we get the little bit of media coverage here. Shut up. I mean, talking about a change of tactic, that's my first game in charge. You would not ask that, to be honest. I don't care about this. My goodness. Yeah, I'll do fine. Okay, so they're lining up with a 4-1-2-2-1 or a 4-3-3 with a defensive midfielder, which is, I think, pretty much what Rangers had been playing, so maybe they were expecting us to play it and they're matching our formation. But in terms of the kind of key areas to look for, I think Wallace and Hodgson will need to get forward and try and make Dykes and Anderson have to drop back. Middle of the park just kind of matching, really. We've got an attacking triangle, they've got a defensive one. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. 1 striker against 3, you would expect us to have that in the bag. Okay. Perfect. Don't have to do any more than that. Alright. Let's see, just make sure we've got our things set up correctly. It looks to be all in order. And we'll skip the formalities here. I think it's actually a little bit quick, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, we'll bring it down a little bit. Wallace with an early cross. Straight at the goalkeeper, but no, positive. At least getting down that wing and trying to get a chance in the first few minutes. First few seconds, really, isn't it? And there's a corner now. Hodgson taking the corner. I thought I set the set pieces. Oh, nearly. Nice effort there early on, and certainly got a decent amount of pressure. Looking at the possession, though, that's at home to Queen of the South. That is appalling. Maybe just a little bit short in midfield. We'll see whether things level out, but that's quite worrying from my point of view. I would have hoped Rossiter and Hansen would have had a better chance of holding on to the ball. I've told Rossiter to play fewer risky passes, but all in all, not the greatest first half. It seems like set pieces are where we're getting a chance. Mackay whipping it in, half cleared. Waghorn will pick it up over in the right wing, dinks it back to Kiernan. Kiernan loses out, and will we get a chance to recreate? No, we won't. Yeah, it's been a little bit flat from us, really not creating much as far as the game is concerned. Yes, far from pleased. I'm just wondering what we can do here in terms of changing things around. I don't think Queen of the South are really challenging as much. I'm looking at Hodgson playing 6.4 there, and it's not ideal. Maybe I kind of want to leave it a bit longer with this. I just want to see whether something happens. In Barry Mackay 6.3, the front line really isn't playing well at all. So I might just bring Mackay back and try out with Philip Billing and see whether as a box-to-box midfielder we can get something more there. Maybe this will help us. It should give us a bit more possession in that second half, but obviously it increases the distance between midfield and attack. Yeah, I don't really want to go that direct. We'll try it like this and we'll see what happens. Let's assertively tell him to push forward and give us a bit more. I mean, this is obviously why you use pre-season friendlies to try out different formations. I've not been an advocate of wing-backs in the past. So we get a chance maybe. Nope, Hamill picks it up. And nobody closing down Dowie here. Anderson coming forward over the top. Senderos should easily cope with that. Back to Fotheringham. And is he going to launch this up the park? It does. We don't play out from the back here. Waghorn was the target. Surely should have been Garner. Big switch there from Rossiter. Wallace in space. Plays it in. Nobody attacking that back post. Hodgson whips it back in and Garner with a shot. And we've got, well, that's us, 1 goal ahead, a minute into the second half. Wallace with a really dangerous cross there, but Waghorn not attacking it. Hodgson with the first time cross, Garner unmarked, the volley into the bottom left corner, and good start to the second half. I'm just hoping to see the possession kind of level out a little bit more. It does look as though it's increasing. Still not generating an awful lot of chances. Waghorn is having a bit of a stinker today, so I think we'll bring Waghorn off and we'll try out Ryan Hardy. Let's do him as a poacher. So we've got a target man poacher set up there up front. Let's see whether Hardy can get himself onto the score sheet and stake a claim for a starting place against Motherwell in a week's time, I think it is. Rob Kiernan not doing himself any favours at all in terms of getting a new contract. 6.3, even though we haven't really been challenged. Pretty disappointing, to be honest. Let's see if we can now passionately tell them, let's passionately encourage them rather than push forward. Creating a decent number of chances, not particularly clinical, only 3 of them on target. Robinson with the goal kick now launches it down the throat of Senderos and Wilson. Wilson actually gets the header. Dowie wide to Dykes, over the top. Senderos has lost his man. Pickard is into the box and he scored. Oh, you could not have written that. Well, you probably could have. Very disappointing there, and showing, even with 3 centre backs, if you haven't got the pace and you're not the right side of them, it gets in to the box here. Fotheringham should have done better with that. Very, very disappointing from that point of view. We're going to have to really push for it now, and aggressively as well. Hansen, suicidal type play, walking back to his goal like that. Hardy now on the ball, got to look for a pass. Rossiter, Hodgson's away, crosses to the back post. Garner's there, near identical to the first goal. And after a poor first half from Hodgson, that's him with 2 assists now. Looking at the performance of the team as a whole, it really doesn't look as though they're suited to this formation at the moment, but it is the first game, we're trying it out, and Garner's managed to get himself 2 goals today, which he's only scored 1 goal I think all season, so he's already kind of tripled his tally for the season. Should be enough to see us over the line. Not the most impressive of performances, as I say, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe Senderos in the centre of the back 3 isn't the right way to go, and that's full time. So 44% possession at home to Queen of the South. Yeah, not great. Let's see what we can say. I don't really want to be too hard on them in the first game in charge, so just, morale's not great. They've not been in good form, so we'll go with that and see where we can take it from there. But yeah, I mean, Garner getting a double is pretty good going. Waghorn 6.5 was a bit disappointing, and Mackay was pretty poor as well. Anyway, we're through to the next round, and yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. In terms of the fixtures, I'm kind of looking what the next sort of sensible one to do would be. Obviously, kind of looking at it in terms of giving us enough games. It would look as though it's a Celtic game on the 11th of March. The Hearts game's only 2 games away. See how it goes. If I think the Hearts game potentially has the ability to be a great game, then I'll maybe just record that. Anyway guys, hope you've enjoyed this episode. We're still in the Scottish Cup, despite pretty much being out of the league. Maybe that'll be our way into Europe next year. If you have liked this episode, please leave a like and a comment. And until the next time guys, I'll see you when I see you.